Well, Indypride takes a first game against Heir of Carthage. Heir of Carthage is switching up his race, so he's now going to be playing Egypt. But guess what, guys? He's not the only one. Indypride changes to Pontus.
This is going to be
crazy. I didn't expect to see Pontus in this tournament, I must admit.
Pontus is going to be... It's going to be interesting, to say the least. Pontus is a very heavy cavalry-focused faction. They don't have the infantry, though, to back up their kind of cav umph. They do have the Bronze Shield pikemen, which are actually very good pike units. But their lack of swords and their lack of really a good skirmishing contingent makes them a very difficult faction to use. But a lot of people, I've seen people bring Pontus and play with skirmish-based armies, bring in those mercenary Scythian archers and a lot of the shock cav that Pontus offers. And then you can get some of those pikes to behave as quote-unquote speed bumps. Basically units that you place in between your formation that you hope that your enemy cav or your enemy light cav or maybe your enemy skirmishers will get caught on. But we'll see what kind of build Indypride brings here today. What are your thoughts about this matchup?
Egypt so far has pretty much had a consistent victory whenever they have been played and haven't been banned out. So with that, I'm kind of going to go with the Egyptian. I think Egypt will pull it out, I think, but Heir of Carthage will make it 1-1 and stop the momentum of Indypride.
I mean, as a neutral, I hope for that to happen so that we can get more matches to watch. But this is not a very standard Egypt army. No elephants. Not a lot of strong cav. 4 Ptolemaic cav usually sees some sort of melee cav support, either in citizen cav. And without the elephant there, you're not really going to have much to tank a lot of damage. But I guess Heir thought to himself, I don't really need my elephants against Pontus. I can just bring Hellenic Royal Guards, walk up to his phalanx, kill him, and GG.
Well, we are going to find out very soon how his army does match up. I mean, no skirmishers, which is not too surprising, but let's have a look over Indypride's army, and we find abundance of skirmishers. Do you want to have a breakdown of Indypride's army as he comes in with a 1-0 victory so far?
1-0 victory. As you can see, he has brought a Bronze Shield Pikeman core. 34 melee defense, pretty decent for a pike unit, but they're not going to stand up for the Hellenic Royal Guards that Heir has brought. And as expected, he's brought a lot of skirmishing. As you said, he has 7 of these Eastern archers. They have 27 melee damage, pretty good archers overall. And again, a very strong cav contingent for Pontus. Nothing too out of the ordinary here. He's brought some noble blood cav, probably to, again, help in the cavalry grind. Maybe he expected his opponent to bring elephants, but no elephants today. And 2 Pontic swordmen there would probably do some flanking. Egypt has a similar build, but no skirmishers and better quality pikes.
It pretty much forces Heir of Carthage to bring the fight to Pontus.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is exactly what he wants as the archers come forward. So how have archers matched up in the recent Total War patch?
Archers got really nerfed in the beta patch for patch 4, but when that patch actually released, archers are now pretty much the most superior skirmish unit that's on foot. The best archer unit in the game beats the best slinger unit in the game, and medium slingers do lose to medium archers. Slingers do have more range though, but archers come with more ammo and more punching damage. So archers probably can fight and shoot long into the battle, but slingers I think do better in close range as well.
So what we got here, is he trying to tie down Pontus' cavalry with the axemen here?
Yeah, what you're seeing here is a classic skirmish maneuver from Indypride, and Heir has no option but to try and press forward. Notice how Pontus is keeping its cav close to its unit, so is Egypt. They're not really sure that they're going to win the cav fight, because both of their shock cav are very close. If you look at the stats, very close indeed. So Egypt just has to keep running forward, and I don't know why Indypride, though, is going back in a straight line. This is something that you don't want to be doing when you bring this kind of army. He wants to try to be spreading out around his opponent so that they split them out, but split them into separate groups.
What about now this gap it's opening up between Heir of Carthage's general and the rest of his army here? Slowly but sure,
Well, I mean,
a lot of his units are getting further ahead of themselves.
Yeah, this would be a bigger problem if he had some skirmish, but Air doesn't really have a back line. All he has is his front line and his flanks. He has to commit, he has to engage, and he has to do the damage. If he doesn't do that, Indypride is free to just keep running back, take pot shots, and just keep covering his retreat with these archers.
And he can choose exactly when he wants to turn and make a fight of it, while still having his skirmishers pounding into the sides. Or in any unit he wants.
That's true, but one thing to keep in mind, Dogbert, is that these archers are taking shots at the front of these Hellenic Royal Guards, and as you can see, not a lot of damage has been done yet, just because Air is being very aggressive here, trying to catch him, and look at this on the left flank, he might just catch the cab!
That unit has gone far too far.
Ooh. Here we go. And none of those units, actually, the two Ptolemaic cav fighting the Pontic Royal cav there, none of them got good charges. So that's going to be a while before that cav frees up.
It looks like all
here comes the rest of the
infantry is now pulling themselves back in.
Oh, man.
Trying to make even more cavalry coming. At this point, should he pull his infantry away from this charge he's moving in? Because right now his general is literally almost isolated.
I think his generals should be fine.
Yeah, but they've just run into out the pikes down, straight into a phalanx.
Oh my goodness. That could be bad for Heir of Carthage. His pikes. Oh my goodness. That is huge. I mean, if Heir of Carthage just stopped his unit and brought the pikes down before the engagement happened, his general would have been able to handle that just fine. But now he's going to lose his general, even though the battles seem to be going so well for him.
Once again, tiny small mistakes are leading up to the big and more dangerous finale, which could now be a generalless Heir of Carthage.
That is incredible, Dogbert. But notice how Heir of Carthage never stopped pressing forward with his units. His right flank is now starting to get some surround on the enemy infantry, but there's still 3 units of Pontic cav completely free, and Heir's cav, though, is now also freed up on the other flank. They just have to deal with this Noble Blood cav. Shouldn't be too much of a problem, but Heir's general, man.
He's still alive somehow.
Still fighting. 70 morale. 70 morale for you. That's what you get.
It just looked like a bronze spear, shield pikeman just walked through him.
Yeah, pikes are kind of dumb right now. They need a little bit of help.
But as you see here, that 3 units of Royal Cavalry is just picking its time, really. Looks like they're going to come in here and hammer into these axemen.
These axemen are being used very effectively. Why? Because they are very cheap units. They're essentially throwaway meat shields or flanking forces. Heir of Carthage just needs to make sure that Pontic, look at the Pontic cap. They're trying to get in around the Hellenic Royal Guards and get a free charge. And looks like they're going to be uncontested here. Heir's swords are too far away to do anything about this. And here comes the charge to the side and back of that Hellenic Royal Guard unit. This is not good for Heir of Carthage here, guys.
They might pay with their lives, depending on where he puts that cavalry unit. He's bringing them back in. Meanwhile, the skirmishers really have taken not that many casualties. I mean, he still has 1 unit of Royal Pikemen trying to chase him down.
Yeah, they haven't really been able to kind of sit down and do a lot of the firing, and most of the firing that they have done was frontal, so... But it's not over for Heir. In fact, it's actually starting to look very good for Heir. If he can...
His general is about to break.
Oh, no.
Is it constant archer fire into the rear of it?
Yeah, he should be targeting with all of his archers right now. If Indypride can rout the general with Heir, this battle is very close to being over.
But meanwhile, cavalry is now mopping up the Eastern archers.
Oh, beautiful move by Heir. Look, he's sending 2 cav units too. It's beautiful.
But meanwhile, he's also getting his infantry around the Pontus infantry. As you can see,
what a recovery here.
Map.
Yep. He's starting to get a... He already had this around, but this is the time when they finally got in position because pikes are so slow. But here we go. He's sitting nicely on this... on the back of this bronze shield pikeman unit. And just look how fast they're going to drop.
Enemy general, Indypride's general, is surrounded by pikes on either side now. You can't run back without walking in the pikes. Can't go forward.
But look at the general of... Look at the general of Heir of Carthage.
Oh, wow.
Standing there with 17 men. And just doesn't give a fuck. It just doesn't.
Well, there you go. It is 1-1 in the series, and it wasn't going to be a boring one to finish. As you said, Heir of Carthage had to bring it to him, and boy, did he do it.
Oh yeah, he did. He did, Dogbert. He came frontally. He surrounded nicely. Look at the kills on those Ponticav. Very effective. His axes, I think they did their job. They protected the back lines. They helped with the cap fight. They did some support. That's what they're meant for. Sometimes people on ladder, they'll bring these units and, put them in their front line or maybe, use them as a core. But no, these axemen are perfect for flanking or protecting your rear. And that's what Heir of Carthage did. And that's why he won that battle.